It's time to draft. Live drafts, underdog, promo code Smitty. Here's the link right here. Smash that link that's in the live chat. It's pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. Code Smitty gets it done as well. Play 5 and get 75. Match 50% up to $1,000 in your first deposit. We're drafting now. Not only for week 17. You lost. You want some skin in the game? Redraft right now for week 17 only. With what you know now, bring it into a week 17 contest. Or better yet, after that, we're going to cook up a freaking playoff draft. And I'm on the clock here, and let me make this pick, then we'll go to the intro. Do a playoff draft. We'll do some of those after we do a couple of these week 17 drafts. But playoff drafts are so fun. They're called mittens. And you try and draft based on the wild card and successive weeks. You got to predict what's going to happen. Okay, this is week 17. Who's going off? Chase Brown, Genty, Josh Allen bouncing back, McBride bouncing back, Achane. Let's go Achane in this one with this pick. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now. File on in.
You're watching a
graveyard stream.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So we're drafting right now on Underdog. Promo code Smitty. If you missed out on this particular draft, don't you worry, because I started it right when the show started, so you couldn't got in anyway. I'm doing another one right after this one ends. There are 36 picks that go really quickly. It's like a 5-10 minute draft, and we'll jump into a couple more, and then we will, after that, do some playoff drafts. I'll open phone lines in just a little bit. I'll answer super chats. Also, by the way, you guys know that I love our boys over at Dime Lab. Dime Lab sent me the mini Dime Lab ball. This thing is awesome. So you guys know the big one. This is the one that's leather. It's our patented design from the Dime Lab. This is from Ben Kirk. I'm on the clock again. Hold on. Chase Brown, Josh Allen, ETN, Drake May, AJ Brown. Well, you know, Hurts is kind of a value here. Buffalo, you know, given that he's banged up. You know what I'm going to do in this one? I normally don't do this because I'm definitely not an Eagle hater or anything, but I do have my critical, you know, evaluations of some stuff going on in Philly constantly, coaching staff related, more so than that than anything, but just the debacle of sorts that happens in Philly once in a while here. But I do think that from a fantasy perspective, I think they're vulnerable in the playoffs, could still win the NFC. I mean, that's how good the team is. It's an arsenal of weaponry. The amount of talent on this team is crazy, but I think Sirianni's a failed coach that just survives off the back of the talent. And he doesn't know how to utilize the talent properly. But any given Sunday, in certain battles, I think Jalen Hurts can score massive amounts of points in a fantastic game. So can AJ Brown. I think that this Buffalo matchup is going to be a wild ride, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely going to be smashing the stack here. So, given that I can wait to draft Hurts, I believe he'll fall to me, and I could have went a bunch of different directions here. I'm going to lean on Travis Etienne, I think, in this spot here. I got AJ Brown, I got Achane. I could go Mike Evans, I could go Michael Wilson. Let's go with Etienne. So I've got Achane, Etienne, AJ Brown. We'll get Jalen Hurts either on that next pick or the pick around that. But anyway, back to the Dime Lab real quickly. The Dime Lab, I'll have Ben Kirk on the channel. He's a former Green Bay Packer quarterback. He backed up Love and Aaron Rodgers when they were both on the same team. Couldn't find a place in the NFL, so he said, let me go take over the football business, and started creating the only competitor that I deem worthy with the NFL football, and that is the Dime Lab. And I've replaced all the footballs in my studio. I don't have a single football that isn't Dime Lab, and I've got tons of them. I have this one, I have that one, I have two over on the wall. I have the water ball that they sent me, which is a big version of this, and now they sent me the mini water ball, which there's not water inside it. It's a ball thrown in water. And when you get it wet, the patent technology of these silicone strips make the ball just glide through the water. And so getting it wet, it throws better when wet. Gets a little heavier. Love that football. All right, anyway, enough about plugging them. Love the hell out of that company. And you'll see me holding Dime Lab balls probably till the end of time in the studio. That's how much I love them. Even beyond me promoting them, I'll promote them anyway for as long as I feel like it. Jalen Hurts is too close for comfort here to leave on this turn for this guy at the end who, you know, he's the top-ranked quarterback, so why leave him? So I've got Hurts and A.J. Brown. I got Achane and Etienne. Devontae Smith is there on this turn. I could grab him, and then I don't know if Goddard will fall to me because he's the second-ranked tight end. But McBride is gone. Bowers is gone. So this guy on the end and the 6 slot is the only one that would probably take a tight end. I don't think the other two would take double tight ends. So as long as I get to my pick here and Goddard doesn't go and Fannon's there, I'm fine taking Fannon or Goddard. So we'll have to see. This guy's got Taysom Hill. This guy could go tight end here, or he could, like a lot of people, wait until the very last pick. So if he doesn't go tight end here, we're probably there Fannon. So there's a chance this guy in the end takes Goddard with one of his 2 picks around the turn. Goddard is the second-ranked tight end. I've got to decide if any of these guys are going to take Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith is the 3rd-ranked wide receiver left, though. I don't know that I need him, though. I mean, I almost don't. I'm not such a big stacker. I don't really stack. Let's just see let's just stack it. Let's just do it. I don't normally stack everybody. I think that can be a detriment, but I do think it's going to be a big, massive shootout. So let's just see if Goddard will fall. You know, again, the only guy going to take a tight end will be this guy on the turn picks at the end. And maybe he doesn't take Goddard. He could potentially take Hunter Henry to stack to Drake May. He could potentially go with, let's see what he does here. He's going to go New England. He went Diggs. Maybe he goes Hunter Henry here. May take Goddard. That's fine if he does. I'm not gonna weep over it. He's scrambling right now. He's like, what do I do? Do I go Goddard? He's been scoring, or do I go Hunter Henry? Do I go Hunter Henry? He says, I think I better go Hunter Henry. I better stack it. I'm not going to sleep at night if I don't stack it. I'm going to do it live. Hunter Henry, boom. Strange. Okay. So Goddard fell. So, I don't know. In this format, stacking is amazing in long form best ball. In a short term, 1 week, just one set of games, you got to ask yourself, you got to almost pick and choose what players are going to blow up unless you think it's going to be a monster day from the offense entirety. So I'm just going to go Goddard here. That way I have the entire Eagles passing attack. I've got Etienne. I've got Achane. Pretty fun team. All right. I like it. All right. Let's as soon as this one ends, I want to see what the projection is. I want to see how everybody looks. We're going to get into one more. So get ready to jump in. Let's see here. Okay, so it gives me an 85.2 projection, which is 3rd place from their projections, which I only like it when it agrees with me. Okay, back out. We're going to go into one more draft for the Week 17 Battle Royale. So if you want to get in to this draft with me, you're going to hit this link that's pinned in the live chat. It's in the description of the video. Code Smitty gets it done as well. Underdog, promo code Smitty. Win up to 5,000 times your money. Play 5, get 75. They'll match 50% all the way up to $1,000 in your first deposit. So hit that link right now. If you don't get into this one and you're signing up, just continue the process because we're gonna do several more tonight. So if you don't get in, hit the green button and get into this draft. And there's 2 or 3 more spots still available. So smash that button and get in. And I'll open the phone lines. If you have the number, dial in. I'll put the number up in a second. I'm not going to open the phone lines hardcore. We'll do a soft open. So dial in if you've got the number. If you got the digits, I'm here to help you. All right, let's go back over to the board view. We don't have the 1 pick. It's still 2 more to enter. We still need 2 more of you to jump into this draft. Promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Do it live. We will all jump into this one together. Yeah, it looks like Rivers is going to play, which was kind of a turn of events, some twists and turns. It didn't seem like Rivers was going to play. Now it does appear Rivers is going to play. So that does, in my opinion, affect Warren a little bit, but it also, like BBQ said earlier, he targeted Warren a lot and just missed him on a touchdown. So it's potentially the Warren and Rivers, finally getting on the same page show. However, it doesn't bode well for JT because we haven't seen this offense look the same, although it could all jive this week. Hard to say. Hard to say, truly. All right. 1.1. I don't have that spot yet. Again, we're waiting for 2 more to start. Are we really waiting for 2 more to start in the Battle Royale Week 17? Like, even amongst the general population trying to rush into this, we need 2 people. We can't get 2 people to jump into this. Pick one: Stafford versus Atlanta or Baker versus Miami. I can't sit Stafford, bro. He's been a top 3 quarterback all year long. Not saying Baker can't bounce back, won't bounce back, but that's an easy, logical decision in my opinion. Hampton or Harvey, hard to say. I'd probably lean toward Harvey with the matchup. 2 more to start. How are we still at 2 more to start? Let me just back out and make sure I didn't I don't need to close my app and go back in. Sometimes it freezes and I'm sitting here thinking that we got 2 more to start. We can't get 2 people from the general population. You're telling me at 10:23 p.m. my time and roughly 23 minutes past midnight for East Coasters, there's not just my people not jumping into this draft with me while we're live right now. You're telling me that the general population isn't doing Week 17 drafts right now across the country? How are we still sitting at 2? Literally, the last 3 minutes, not a person in the country, let alone on this live stream, is going to jump into the draft that I'm in. This is wild. Someone says it's not working for them. It seems like something's off, but it says 1 to start drafting soon. There, I don't know. I think that was legit. I don't think there was an issue. I think people were just not getting into the draft. That was wild. How does Rivers throw? I don't know. Rivers definitely throws a little wild right now. It's like, I love this little water ball. It's so fantastic. It's so light too, Once you get it in the water, which is why it's a water ball. Once you get it in the water, though, these strips, I guess, absorb, hold a little water on it, and then it just makes it aerodynamic and makes it a little heavier, and then I guess it just sails. Perfect spirals in water. But the water ball is fun to have in the studio. Again, there's no water in it. It's fun to have in the studio because it's one of those indoor feeling balls, like in the office. This is perfect for the office. $20 on Amazon, or go to thedimelab.com. The Dime Lab sells them on Amazon too. But get on over to either thedimelab.com or Amazon. Actually, they don't have the little one on Amazon. They have the big water ball for $30 on Amazon. And then the small minis are only on the dimelab.com website. But these are great for the office. This is like a perfect office size football. And the laces are still fantastic. All right, phone lines are open. Dial in. If you know the number. Soft open of the phone lines. JSN, Jalen Hurts, and then we'll go Jamar. I'll tell you all the toys I have in this studio. It's amazing that I even leave. I've got the 22-pound hammer on one shoulder. Got the water ball. Go. Where am I? These are two. I've got my 3 favorite things right now, and I love the Hacks strike pad. The Hex Fitness strike pad as well, but I can't hold that right now. But right now, these are 3 of my favorite things. My Gunners. If I just had my the Addict.shop hoodie on, which we're still giving away one. If I had that on right now, I'd have my 4 favorite things. Hold on, caller. Just mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. I'm going to go to JD in 1 second. JD, let me draft real quickly, and then other caller, mute yourself if you could, please. All right, let me swing on over and just. Part of me wants to go Chase, Burrow, do the same damn thing that I did. Tampa Bay. I didn't time out. I wasn't on the clock yet. Okay. So JT, I'm going to predict he still struggles because of Rivers. Chase Brown, Genty. Love Genty. Chase Brown or Genty, DJ? You pick. 8 seconds.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. All right, DJ, you're live. What can I do for you?
Best show on the planet, Smitty. The Rivers question. I think that, if there's something to play for, they're going to play them, right?
Yeah.
I think I saw in the chat that if Houston wins, and there may not be any need to do so. But I think they'll play them. But I think that the deeper question behind that is this man hasn't played in like 5 years, right? Like, what does that say about the quarterback position? I mean, we're seeing Brissett in Arizona. Of course, Rodgers is still doing his thing. So do we think maybe some of these quarterbacks aren't having enough time to develop?
No, because you see Drake May, you see, JD5 was unbelievable his rookie year. And I don't think you can blame any of what's going on now that he started too early because he delivered early. So, no, I think some quarterbacks take more time. But, look how good Shuck looks right now. I don't think so. I think that, there's a lot of factors. One factor not talked about enough is turnover with OCs because nobody stays more than a year anymore. If you have a great year, you're gone. You get a head coaching job. And so, there's that. There's so many different dynamics at play that make it really tough to keep consistency. I mean, look at the Lions and look at the Bucks. Amazing years. OCs are gone. Boom. They fall apart to a degree. So, I will say this. I'll say that, seeing Brissett and then seeing Rivers come back and do what he's doing, it almost makes me feel like I don't know if it's at a college level or whatever. It seems like the ability for quarterbacks to read defenses is a big thing. Like Rivers going out there with half of the talent that he had in the past, maybe even a quarter of the talent that he had in the past, but he's so smart that he can do these weird throws. He's not even like whoever said in the chat, it's not like he's cocking back his arm anymore. We'll probably find out he has like a torn rotator cuff or something because he's literally just throwing like this. It's real. It's like a half swing in golf. They're like little tiny chip shots, but he's delivering the ball and he knows how to read the defense so well. Tom Brady says he could walk in today and dominate the NFL, and I kind of believe it. I kind of truly believe it. I believe Tom Brady could step into a good situation and win a Super Bowl right away. And I know people are going to say that's cap or whatever because they're Tom Brady hater that's saying that. Any person that knows ball knows that Tom Brady probably could still step into a very good situation and sling. He can't do that because he's majority owner. There's a certain loopholes he'd have to go down a long path to get undone. But like he can't. Like right now as it stands, he can't come back. But I think he would dominate. So I think to answer your question in a roundabout way, I think it's just more about coaching. It's more about these guys being able to read defenses. I think it's a wild. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can. Where is T. Higgins gone? Yeah, he got taken. ETN. Bucky. I'm going to go ETN here. So I got Chase Brown, ETN, Burrow, Jamar Chase. I was hoping I could get T. Higgins. Where'd T. Higgins go? Oh, he went before Burrow. Jeez. It'd be so fun to see Brady step back in. I wish he wasn't tied up in damn Raiders. Jeez. What else you got, DJ?
Yeah, I think, from a fantasy perspective, that's why, we have Hurts as high as what he would be, and, these kids coming out with the rushing ability, kind of like understanding defenses be damned, but just from a standpoint of being able to compete and also get the production out of your wide receivers. And again, this is just from, a fantasy perspective. So, I think that there is a parallel to it. I mean, 5 years, he can pick apart a defense. I think Brady, to your point, yeah, if he wanted to play, I think he would be right there in terms of competing, But from a fantasy perspective, even those quarterbacks still get pushed out, regardless, as to how we kind of look at them. May is an exception. J5, awesome. May has some rushing ability. And he's picking apart some defenses. So, yeah, I was just curious in terms of what you thought about that. But, we look at Purdy. We don't think too much of him. Or Rodgers. But these are just pure quarterbacks, but not necessarily
No,
good.
Purdy's having a great stretch right now. But Purdy also lives in the most super team, type of environment because of what Shanahan does, his pre-snap motions, everything. And granted, the wide receiver room is definitely lesser than it's been in the years past, but just having McCaffrey and Kittle alone is better than almost any offense in the National Football League. So, like, having Debo and Ayuk when they were on was even another level above all that. But now having Jennings and having still, pretty decent wide receiver room, but with Kittle and Shanahan's play calling and all that. And it's, it's Purdy is definitely a product of the system. And I know people are going to start arguing against that again, but where were those people when we said that weeks and weeks ago? Even my own boys, the Niner Quad Box, were doubting the hell out of Purdy walking into the last couple of weeks. And now Purdy's playing really well. Purdy's a very good system quarterback. He is not an elite quarterback, but he's almost, you could call him an elite system quarterback. Like, he's the best of the best in terms of being a system quarterback. But anybody that thinks that Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback is just a Niner fan. Like, their goggles are this thick. But he's playing amazing, and he's going to continue to in Shanahan's offense with these weapons. If Christian McCaffrey were out of the lineup, Brock Purdy would turn into a turd immediately.
Yeah, that's interesting. Goff might be along those lines as well. Just in terms of, he's just falling out.
Goff,
and I think, yeah.
No, I was just saying Goff is a system quarterback. There's no doubt about that. No question. Good system quarterback.
Yeah, from that standpoint. Well, right on. All right. Best show on the planet, man. I'm just calling and chiming in on that. Take care.
Leo, you're live, young man.
All right, cool. Honestly, like, three things now. Like the Purdy thing, I think it's pretty interesting because, like, all off season, you were kind of like criticizing like the Niners for like signing that extension to the contract. You're like, why would you do that now? Like, you want to see what you got. And I bet they feel relieved now that they're kind of getting some like output on their investment because for a while there it almost looked wasted. So I think it's kind of interesting. Like, now it's almost like, yeah,
even on top of that though, and then, quickly, even on top of that, and I can tell you for sure that even my Niner buddies, the Quad Box, Raj, and the boys were so doubting Purdy themselves that they wanted Mac Jones to continue as the quarterback. Like, this is like Mac Jones was proving himself and his mangled knee and everything. And the Niners themselves, they slow rolled Purdy back, even though he was ready to return and said he still needs more time because they didn't know if Mac was going to replace Purdy for the future. And if a Niner fan feels differently, their goggles are this thick because there was super big question marks around and a cloud around Brock Purdy. And people were calling him Brock Turdy again. And there was definitely a concern that the money was wasted. Here we got this guy on this big fat contract. And Mac Jones is out playing him. Mac Jones is so much better. And then all of a sudden, Purdy comes back. Purdy plays like dog water for a little bit, then starts to pick it up, and the team wins. And then now he's being carried. But he's doing a good job in assisting that. There's no question about it. Even this week, I think Brock Purdy's a very good fantasy player because his weapons he's got a plethora of weapons. But this guy is very questionable once things start to deteriorate. When CMC's gone, CMC's the glue. And so if he gets hurt, ages out, even if he plays one more year, I'm not saying he can't, but when he's gone, Purdy will turn back into who we thought he was. I'm just telling everybody that right now. I can almost guarantee Purdy's not going to be elite quarterback 3 years from now.
Mac Jones felt like more of a 49er than Purdy. I don't know what it was. It's like watching those games just felt different. Like he just felt like he fit the mold a little better. I don't know. And then like another thing I had to say was like just a quick question, given because we made it to the old finals here. Are you picking up the Lions defense against old Max Brosner?
Well, what are the options?
Well, I have the Eagles defense right now against the Bills. I figured probably better with the Lions against Brosner, considering how bad he did last time.
Yeah, I don't know. Lions are a pretty good play, bro. That's not bad. Anything's possible. The Christmas game, usually you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they're closer games than you think and all that. But yeah, I can't imagine Brosner. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be a nice Detroit play. In Philly, Philly's also, they're always a good play because they're such a good defense. But yeah, I think I just think Josh Allen's going to have a good day. I think Cook's going to have a good day. I think I probably do go Lions.
I just feel like it's never good to bet against.
Yeah, I think I do go Lions. That's not a bad play.
And then my last point here, because the Brock Purdy was just like thrown in there. I do love the new mantra going into the off season here. I just feel like, because I watch your stuff pretty religiously now. And so I tried to you had your top 8 best picks in each round. I try my best to mimic that. Of course the HHH and Associates. I feel like I had so much of the same guys in all my teams. And so just I like the whole mindset switch next year. Just trying to maybe have different teams assembled this year than having the Bulls.
And just a point of clarification, it's not because I'm changing anything about what I do. And it's not that I feel like I've been wrong on any many years of track record of, people wouldn't watch if we missed everything. We're definitely known for being a bold community. The channel's known for being kind of ahead of the curve and sometimes to a detriment, being a year early, a half a year early, whatever. But everyone knows you come here to find the diamonds in the rough, and we're not just throwing mud at the wall, and we know ball. This is probably the most hardcore, sleeper community you'll find, period. But me saying that the new mantra of diversification across your fantasy football portfolio is driven by so many other factors that have nothing to do with me. This is my observation and my feel of how things are going to go moving forward. Not that we're going to have as many injuries and busts next year as we had this year, but it's certainly going to be more of a trend that things are going to fall apart or be a little more unpredictable partly because of what I said, that the coaching turnover. OC has a good year, he's gone the next year as a head coach. Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson have good years, gone head coaches. And so you have this uprooting of every team every 1 or 2 years, no matter what. And then you have this drop off. And some of these things are hard to predict. Walking into next season, or actually, let's just go back. Walking into this season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing Liam Cohen definitely was a warning shot across the bow to us. But anybody was still there's still a lot of talent there. There's no way I'm just going to bail on these guys and then they fall apart. Now, Gibbs has been great and St. Brown's been great. There's inconsistency that doesn't help during playoff time that can screw people. The Gibbs usage these last 2 weeks has screwed people, even though Gibbs has been amazing all year. No one's going to, avoid Gibbs next year. But it's this kind of fluctuation that we didn't have, this one variable that makes this mantra a smart maneuver, not some sort of, we need to rethink the way we do things. It's a calculated, we're looking at the chessboard, and it's me saying, let's get progressive with this situation and let's outthink the fantasy football landscape. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with, Smitty's making some changes. He realized, no. We love what we do. We're going to continue to do everything we do. But we're looking at the landscape and we're saying this is a vulnerability here. We're going to exploit it. And then you have all the injuries that, for whatever reason, players are getting hurt more than normal. We have to accept that this is a pattern at this point. And so we must now not only accommodate the aspect that I'm talking about now with the coaching turnover, accommodate that, but we also need to accommodate the new injury risk that seems to be sweeping over fantasy in a way that you can't even predict it. You can avoid injury-riddled players, sure, but these guys are going down like flies and they don't even have a sign of any of the injuries happening or some sort of inclination to that injury. We just need to adjust and adapt. And adjusting and adapting is we're going to diversify our fantasy football portfolio more than we ever have before. And it's not a mistake that we haven't done it in the past. We're doing it as an observation moving forward.
Like, additionally, like the coaching changes and stuff and the injuries, but like I feel like concussions is going to be a huge thing moving forward. Like, I feel like this year was crazy. Like, even Hendy, like that, just like that quick little jerk of hitting the neck on the ground. Like,
that's injury.
Every year we should expect weeks, any of our guys, you should almost expect it to happen at some point now, because unless you can't like really, like, you can try to protect yourself, but he's like focused on holding the ball and like some guy's trying to rip him down. At some point you have to decide, like, am I going to fumble like Stevenson, or am I just gonna,
the Achilles injuries in basketball players and NFL players, this is an injury that was not sweeping in years past. There's definitely something going on. I don't even want to get into some of the theories and things that might be, like medically, whatever. I'll just leave it at that. But I'll just say that there's reasons to think that there's more susceptibility to this or that or the other. I mean, we could come up with a thousand different scenarios, but all I can tell you is that the pattern's too great and to recognize and not react to it. So injuries, whether it's, I don't even want to say any names and put bad, vibes out there, but like top 3, 4, or 5 wide receiver right now goes down this coming week with an Achilles tear that you can't even see coming or prevent. And it's like, you just can't stack everybody like you used to. 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, you literally could, and turf doesn't help. None of these, there's a combination, accumulation of all these different things. The turf, the injuries, different medical stuff, potentially, everything combining for more injuries. But 7-8 years ago in fantasy, you were just trying to avoid having your first rounder go down to an ACL tear. And that was pretty much it. It was like, what if this guy is an ACL tear? 1 out of every like 7 like running backs, let's say, that 1 through 7, maybe one of them has an ACL tear, or 1 through 10. So like one of the top 10 guys has an ACL tear. And then that was like maybe one guy in like the 25 to 40 range goes down. And I'm not saying there wasn't injuries and stuff, but it was like you were just trying to avoid the ACL tear. That's all. One of these guys, unlucky guys out of the 10 right here, going to have an ACL tear. If you can play that Russian roulette with the running backs, you were good. Now it's literally 50% of the top 40 was either out for the season or majority of the season with an injury, or they busted entirely. Like busted, like horrible, not worth even selecting in the top like 60. So that's what we're dealing with. So diversification across your portfolio will be the mantra. We won't slow down on it. And then another one of the many different commandments that your boy's going to have. I'm going to have a book of commandments on it. The second or third or fourth commandment, I don't know which one it'll be, will be to overdo your backup quarterback situation. You think you've got it backed up, back it up again. It's going to be like, let's say you draft Josh Allen again in the 3rd or 4th round. It's going to be, okay, well, what, you don't have to take someone in the 5th or 6th. I'm not saying that. That's not a smart move. Who's falling into the round 7, 8, 9 range? Mahomes is now a 7 or 8 rounder because he's okay. I'm grabbing Mahomes. I got Mahomes and I got Josh Allen. Guess what? Not done yet. Shuck's going to be on my roster, or a Bo Nix. I'm going to find somebody. I'm going to have 3 quarterbacks in every single league that I'm in. And there are people out there that have made fun of this channel, like in like a playful way, but in like expert leagues that we do, one of the big funny running jokes was that this channel tells people to draft 3 quarterbacks. You never draft 3 quarterbacks in a 1 QB redraft league. I'd always get made fun of for that. But people are not going to laugh at that anymore. I think people understand what time it is. The injuries at stake. The quarterback is the worst position to anybody that's been struggling at QB all year. Tell me it isn't the most painful position to be trying to figure out all year long. You lose sleep over it. So we're gonna hunker down on making sure that everybody understands that it's not 2 quarterbacks, it's 3 quarterbacks, and it's giving yourself trade opportunities too. When other people don't listen, don't do that, and you're consuming 3 quarterbacks that are probably top 11, 12 quarterbacks. You're making it a dry market for everybody else, and it's going to have a cascading effect later on in the season when quarterbacks go down, and we're trading a Mahomes, or we're trading a Bo Nix, or whatever. Some will say Caleb, whatever your quarterback is of choice. We're gonna have 2 or 3 of them on rosters, and have trade opportunities. Like Lamar is gonna fall really far in the draft next year. You could go Lamar and Burrow, and not have to, one of them is gonna fall really, really far when you're in backup mode. No one's saying forego drafting your number 2 running back and taking a backup quarterback. That's called bully QB, and it only works in best ball. In best ball, I'll actually draft a quarterback in the 3rd and 4th round, or 3rd and 5th round, because in best ball it's different because your quarterback gets started for you optimally in optimal starting format. So if you have 2 quarterbacks like that, whoever scores the most starts that week for you. So it's a very advantageous bully QB approach in best ball. It's not in non-best ball. Non-best ball, it's basically ruining your season if you were to take 2 quarterbacks before you've filled out your roster.
That's interesting. I never really got that vibe from the channel, of overdrafting QBs. Most of my 1 QB leagues, I just kind of punted QB, and I guess I got lucky because I got Drake May, and that's just kind of who I've been because he had a week 14 bye, so I didn't have to worry about it even. He never got injured, so
in a 1 QB, imagine you had Drake May as your 2nd or 3rd quarterback. You had Josh Allen, who was great all year. No one judge him based on week freaking 16. But if you had Josh Allen, so you have Allen, and then you got Drake May. May's been the QB 1, 2, 3 pretty much all year. Who do you think you could trade Drake May for right now if you could still trade, let's say, and there was somebody that could give you a player? I mean, you could easily get a receiver I don't know, Travis, throw out a name. Higher than a T. Higgins. You could get you could get an RB like ETN maybe. I mean, it's a quarterback that scores a massive amount of points. You could get an ETN. You could get wide receiver. Throw a wide receiver out. Somebody throw a wide receiver out, and I'll tell you whether I go higher than that.
What about JMO?
Way more than JMO for May. Way more.
I don't
Oh, really? In a 1 QB?
Especially if someone's hurting at quarterback.
My heart would say Rashee Rice.
I mean, think about it. What
Mahomes is gone, so I kind of
where's JMO getting drafted in a draft right now? If we were drafting today, I love JMO, but he's not going anywhere, in the top 3 rounds.
6.
Whereas I think Drake May is flirting with this territory. He could. I mean, it just depends on how I guess people value him. But JMO is certainly a good receiver. I'm not saying, but I AJ Brown, good example. JSN, no one's going to give you JSN for May, but you could do a 2 for 1 or something. AJ Brown, certainly attainable. Olave, yeah, it's a great one. Olave. If Rice were playing, Rice could be had. I think so. In 2 QB or Superflex, he's the 1.1 or 1.2. So you're obviously not even going to trade him for anything, but potentially the Gibbs, CMC, Bijan, Jamar Chase, JSN, whatever. But even then, you have to wait out. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on your league too. Some leagues you might not be able to get those receivers. Some of them you will. But anyway, my point, Pickens are a good example. My point is just saying that, if you had a Drake May and you had an Allen, imagine filling one of your wide receiver spots or your running back spot with ETN because you had May and you're like, okay. So next year, I think, just having the 3 quarterbacks is going to give you trade options at some point because of all the injuries that we predict to probably continue to happen. All right, my boy, anything else? All right, later, Leo. Appreciate you. Travis, you're live.
So on the team right now, I got Henry. If he goes out, I'll have to. So I have Hendy as my RB2 and Gainwell as my flex. So Gainwell would jump into the RB2 spot. And then for the flex, I would have a choice between going Ramondre or Jalen Warren. Part of me just leans towards Ramondre to diversify, and with DK out, but I wanted your.
Yeah, the problem. Okay, so 2 things. If Hendy doesn't play, then maybe you look at it like Stevenson, replaces him, and then you got to pick between Warren and Gainwell. I mean, you could go both of these guys and sit Stevenson like you're thinking, but my concern there is you're chasing last week, and I just don't see it happening in a back-to-back fashion with DK out where these guys are both exploding. It's so easy to want that happening, and who do you pick though? I don't know. And if they have a horrible game, then you just tank.
Yeah, I mean, I think I lean towards Gainwell because he's getting 7 targets a game, and even not even thinking of the DK thing yet. Just it seems Rodgers is very comfortable throwing to him, so I lean that way. But
I feel like it's an easy one to miss, so I'm not saying it with confidence, with uber confidence, but I would say probably Stevenson, probably Gainwell, 4 to 5 to 6 receptions alone, even if it was 30 yards, is enough to say, damn, I got 10, 12 points no matter what out of this guy. Whereas Warren could get you 30 yards or he could get 100 yards, but he does feel a little more susceptible to that. He's having a huge game, he's racking up the yards, and at the end of the day, he has 101 yards, and that's 10 points. And you're like, holy crap, this guy's going to get you 14 when he doesn't even have the same looking stat line because he's got a touchdown or he's got 7 receptions.
And Warren's only had 2 games with above 70 rushing yards. So, he's always solid, but and he blew up last week, and one other week he had 127 yards. But with Gainwell eating up so much of the PPR work now, kind of makes Warren more of a floor play.
Makes me sick thinking about.
Gainwell hasn't been getting a ton of TDs.
It makes me sick thinking about Stevenson having a really good game and just being not what is this doing to the confidence level of Vrabel, and what is this doing to the next week? What do they do in the playoffs? They start easing Ramondre back into more of the work. It makes me sick thinking about the production that Stevenson's going to get. Hendy would have got and more. It just makes me sick. Let me just see here. Ramondre Stevenson, what's his contract? He's a restricted free agent in 2029. Oh man.
I think they can get out of it after next year, though. I think there might be.
Yeah, the outs in 2027. But it's still, it's better than I guess them going and getting. I mean, Ramondre's a serviceable running back. He does run well. if you're being honest with yourself and you're like, okay, you looked good on that play. The question's never been, is Ramondre good? It's just Stevenson Hendy can do everything he can do, but better. So on a 4.5 yard carry or 5.5 yard rip, Hendy might take it house or get you 6.2. And so that's just if anybody needs evidence of that, just look at what Hendy's done when he's being fed. And as you said the other night, 30 plus yard runs. It's Hendy, it's Harvey, it's would you say Gibbs and Achane? And I mean, that's.
Yeah. Hendy Harvey gives.
I mean, like you close your close your eyes and you think about it. That's probably one of the more important stats, in my opinion, for explosiveness. I mean, you just close your eyes and you picture who's the guy just ripping off a 50, 60-yard touchdown run. It's not Stevenson. He doesn't do that. And so if you don't give Hendy the as many carries as you can, you're not going to get that one rip, because it's going to take like 10 rips to get a 50-yard touchdown out of Hendy. So if you're giving him a rotation, he never gets in a groove. You can sit there and go, oh, Stevenson got 5 yards per carry. He's really good. Fantastic. That's great. I'm glad for you. But if you don't give Hendy the reps, he won't get the 50-yard rip. And it's that simple. So it doesn't. Right. Everyone can say, but Stevenson's doing good, Smitty. They should have. I get it. It's the same thing with Monty. Monty does well, but you got to give Gibbs his work, which they do when they're running the ball. I'm not worried about Monty at all taking away from Gibbs. I'm worried about the play calling in Detroit. It has nothing to do with Gibbs. Everything to do with the play calling in the offense right now. Let me hit these super chats real quick, Travis, and then we'll do one playoff draft. Greatest show on earth, says Tubehead. Gadsden, Parkinson, Waller. I don't know. Is it Taysom Hill out there? Probably go Taysom Hill. Gadsden really just disappeared. I don't think it's his fault. I think he could break out like next year or the year after. But what a mother freaking disappointment that's been. This Gadsden not getting used. That Chargers offense is just so hard to predict. Gadsden had one target last week. You can't trust him.
No, they're missing their 2 stud linemen. That's the big thing.
Waller at least got 8 and 5 targets in back-to-back games. I'd probably go Waller. I don't love it, but I'd probably go Waller. Thank you, my boy. Additional Taysom Hills on waivers. There it is. It's right over here. Taysom Hill. I would go Taysom Hill. Waller isn't bad, though. I'd go Waller or Taysom Hill. Chat, vote Taysom Hill or Waller. Be a little careful with this vote, because I think there's a lot of people that are hoping on a prayer with Taysom Hill, which we love them. We're a big Taysom Hill community, but they might have Taysom Hill, so you're going to get a lot of Taysom Hill votes. But I still trust them.
You have to think Taysom Hill is going to get 10 carries at the minimum, right? As long as Neal's gone. I don't think Kamara.
Yeah. 8 team, 2 flex PPR championship round. Nice work. Start Kyron or Harvey. Start May or Lawrence. I'd probably go May. Keep Warren at tight end or claim Henry. Also thoughts on JT. Not excited about Rivers playing for JT's sake, but you still got to play him. Kyron Harvey. I probably lean Kyron for safety, even though he wasn't safe last week. But I still lean Kyron for safety. But Harvey's going to get you 2 or 3 or 4 points, or he's getting you 20, 25. Like, he really is the big swing player. If Kyron didn't have Corum in the mix, then Kyron would be the huge monster swing player. Like, Kyron can get you 100 in a touch. I'm not saying he can't, but right now it's a little more difficult for him right now to get that. He could get 2 touchdowns and 70 yards. Like, that stuff happens when everything just lines up right. But definitely Harvey has a chance of getting you like the 100 total yards and the multiple touchdowns a little bit more than Kyron right now. If Corum got hurt or didn't play, then it would be Kyron would be the choice. So it really comes down to that. They're saving Kyron a little bit. They're splitting the backfield right now. So Harvey for me, May for me, even though Lawrence has been fantastic. And I probably go with the second question or third question, Henry or Warren. I probably lean... Man, I'd probably lean Hunter Henry just because 4 out of the last 5 games he's had 6 targets or more. That's insane. That's great. And And you could take it all the way back to week 9.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the last, or 5 out of the last 7 games, he's had over 6 targets. That's crazy. That's great. You got to kind of take that. 2 touchdowns in that time. I definitely think Hunter Henry's safer. Doesn't mean Warren isn't better, and Warren is going to be amazing next year. He's maybe a top 3 or 4 tight end. But Rivers is limiting, you know. And I know he might connect with them more this week. He missed him on a touchdown. He did target him more. But there's a reason 2 weeks in a row Warren's been bland, you know. So I trust him next year, but not this year. And JT, you just got to start him. But I do think JT comes with limitations with Rivers in there. Now, any 1 week out of 4 or 5, he could have 110 and 2 touchdowns, you know, or 95 yards and 2 touchdowns or something. Hopefully that's this week. He could still do that with Rivers, but it's going to be a little more rare. Ship week, tight end, Strange, Waller, or Hill. I'd probably go Hill or Strange in that order. Juwan's nice too, but I'd go Hill, Strange in that order, then Waller, personally. All right, Travis, go ahead. I probably won't stay too much longer. I'm going to do... actually, let's jump into a playoff draft real quick while Travis is thinking of what he wants to ask. Go to the Originals tab. Swipe over Underdog promo code Smitty, by the way. Links in the live chat. It's pinned. It's in the description of the video. Code Smitty gets it done as well. And we're going to swipe over to the mitten. I think it's like, I don't know, like 10, no, maybe like 8 to 10 swipes over. Or you just click NFL and you can see them. The mitten, $5. I'm going to wait there for about 30 seconds before we hit the green button. So mitten, $5. I want everybody to try and jump into this draft. It's a playoff draft. The wild card weekend matters. So if you pick teams that have a round 1 bye, then like let's say San Francisco wins out and gets the first round NFC bye. You can't just draft all Niners because you won't make it to round 2. You have to win the wild card weekend. So it's a nice combination of strategy. Hit the green button right now. Travis, go ahead.
So on that same team, I have Kittle. It's a dynasty league too, so I have to kind of consider a little bit about the future, but in the championship. So on my bench, I have Gadsden and Likely. I can pick up another tight end though. There's Taysom Hill. There's Fungus, which is his backup, and there's Waller.
So it's between Taysom Hill, Likely, and Gadsden and Waller?
Well, so I can. I guess it's just which one of the 3 would you pick up? Hill, Fungus, or Waller?
I think Hill then Waller.
And whichever one of those, you definitely play them over Gadsden.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Hey, who do you like number 1 overall? Do you think the Niners are going the distance? Do you think the Rams are going the distance? Who do you like in the NFC? Or do you think the Eagles?
I still like the Rams. Rams or the Eagles.
I'm gonna go Puka in this draft. I don't get a lot of 1 picks, and I don't think I've drafted any Puka yet because I don't get the 1 pick a lot in the playoff draft. So again, this is the playoff draft. And you essentially are drafting for not only wild card weekend, but the entirety of the. So, like, let's say you pick a non-wild card or let's say you pick a 3 seed, 4 seed team to go all the way, and you draft all the players from that team. Then you're safe for wild card weekend because they're playing wild card weekend. But if you have a team on a bye and you load up on those players, then you don't make it through wild card weekend. Then your team could be the best team, but it's already out. So it's a crazy combo of things. Thanks for the Graveyard Smith waivers run tonight. 12 team Superflex start 10. I have enough fab to block 1 player. My opponent has Lamar, the best available waivers. Wash, Willis, and Rivers. Block my opponent. He has Lamar. So if he doesn't have any other quarterback, I'd probably grab. I don't know. Willis is hurt too. I don't know. If he doesn't have another quarterback, I think I'm trying to grab probably I guess Willis. I don't think Rivers will hurt you that bad if you face him. He'll be okay. I'd probably grab Willis, but make sure there's not another quarterback out there. But if he's actually got a good backup, then I'd probably grab Pete Wash. But that's a tough one.
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily expect Washington to have such a big week because what's his name? Patrick Surtain was on either Myers or BTJ all last week. So I mean, Washington can have a good weekend, but 7 points, 100 and whatever yards. That's probably I would bet against that. I would say.
Agreed. Is Devontae Adams gone? Yeah, Devontae Adams is gone. You know what? I might go. Damn it. I'm going to go Drake May here. So I'm going to go Stafford, May. So I have a quarterback in each conference. I got Puka and Stafford together. So now I can hit, if I want, I can hitch my wagon to the Patriots or the Rams. Not done with that, though. I'm sure whoever's drafting in the 2 spots probably pissed off because they thought they were going to get Hendy in May. Sorry, I wasn't looking at your team. You took Hurts, and no one's getting any of the stacks they want. McCaffrey and Kittle, there you go. But Stafford and May's pretty good. I think there's some good odds that they could face each other. Some decent odds. This super chat from Austin. Thank you, pal. Are there any Dynasty Leagues to join now? I mean, on our Patreon, people are creating stuff all the time. So you could even create one yourself on the Patreon. But here's the Patreon right here. The link I'm going to drop in the live chat. Cancel anytime, $10 a month. But that's where people will organize them. I don't have any that I'm doing, but we might have one. We might have one soon. Basically, we are going to have one for sure. The winner of the Patreon league is getting into the Dynasty League, right, Travis? Isn't that the way I said it in the offseason? Or no, that was already, that was actually last year. Never mind. Maybe we do another Dynasty League. I don't know. I think I'm confusing my leagues. We're definitely going to do the Wild Wild West draft soon. We're going to do that one soon. We're going to do that one in February. So we're going to do it early. It's Wild Wild West. We did it in week 5 when 4 weeks had already played, or 5 weeks had already played. I forget. And now this time the Wild Wild West, we're going to draft in February when it's way too early. And it won't be Dynasty though. But if you want to create a Dynasty League, I'd encourage you to get on the Patreon. All right. Almost on the clock here. Let's see. You think the Bucks make the playoffs or no?
They have an easier shot than Carolina does because they face Miami, Carolina, and Carolina faces Seattle and the Bucks. So, yeah.
I'm gonna do something wild.
Down to the last week.
I'm gonna take some quarterbacks. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I got to try and find... What you got to try and do is get at least 5 players into the championship game. I'm sure that team at the end... is pissed. I don't know who that is. But they've got Harvey and Sutton back-to-back. I'm not trying to snipe anybody. So if you're in there, I apologize. But I've got Nix, May, and Stafford. And then now I just need to make sure I hitch some wagons. Otherwise, I won't have enough to play bowl.
Someone's asking Dylan Sampson or Chris Rodriguez.
Is Sampson for sure playing?
It looks like he is. I don't think they've said
We don't know
100%.
yet.
I will say though, Raheem Sanders is there in Cleveland, and he's a good running back. People don't know who he is, but I don't know if he could get some carries.
I think
Rodriguez is probably.
we
safer,
just need to wait
right?
longer. Safer,
Yeah,
maybe.
see
I don't
what-
know. Hard.
I mean, the past couple of times he's played, he had like 16 and a touchdown or something.
I want Sampson if he's like a go, I think, but I like Sampson a lot.
Yeah.
I've always loved Sampson. I mean, I told people in the offseason, which, you know, I have said I love Judkins a lot more than I did. He really grew on me, but then they stopped using him, and now it's like back to what I said he was going to happen in the offseason. It's like, but I really did admittedly he grew on me, but I think Sampson's just a dynamic all-around player. Dylan Sampson reminds me of Chuba Hubbard, how I saw Chuba Hubbard as the same type of player, and then he didn't do anything for a while. And then all of a sudden he emerged, and I'm like, damn it. This is the guy that I said would be, you know, what I said he'd be. And so, like, I really think Sampson's got that potential. He's super, uber talented. But he is kind of smaller, injury-prone.
Judkins was impressive, but I mean, there are still limitations, you know, so they have to have a good offense around him for him to be elite.
$50 hauler from Slick Rick. Slick Rick, let me just draft real quick. Okay, so I have May. So we'll grab Stevenson here, even though it makes me sick. But May and Stevenson, so I have two from that side of the fence. I got Stafford and Puka. So now if I can get, let's say, I'm going to go Evans here because I have Bucky. And so what I'm doing here essentially is got to be careful. It's so hard to build these teams sometimes. So I have Puka and Stafford. So that's two from one conference. May and Stevenson, two from another. So I just got to try and see what I can do to connect those and get 3 and 3. At the same time, I've got Bucky and Evans. And I could go like Baker and Buka or something if I wanted, then grab 4 from, and then I'm hitching my wagon. You can. The reason sometimes this approach can work, even though it looks insane, because it's like you don't have any stacks. What the hell are you gonna do? You have so many options that if people start sniping you, you can go in a different direction. Now I don't. The odds of the Bucks making it, isn't it 50-50? It's 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad attempt. Smitty had the fantasy season of my life thanks to you. Did something crazy. Played in all 10 team 5K buy-in leagues with some NFL rich dummies. First is 30K. Guy wanted to chop, but Slick Rick doesn't roll like that. Thanks for everything. Merry Christmas. The guy wanted to split it, you're saying? That's awesome. Yeah. Slick Rick's like, no, not from the plane. I take a plane. $50 hauler, by the way.
Give me $50 holler.
Slick, appreciate you dropping that, bro. 30K, damn. I think I remember him in the offseason telling me that too, that he's playing in these like huge higher.
So is he in the championship? Or
it sounds like he's played in 10-team 5K buy-in league with some NFL rich dummies. You gotta love that. It's doing work. Okay, so God, trusting Baker's like ridiculously stupid at this point, but I'm kind of all in here. So I'm going to grab Buko with this one. And I'm just going to grab Baker with this one. Oh, I can't. It maxed out on quarterbacks. Damn it. That's stupid. Now I'm going to time out. I guess Franklin. So now I have Franklin. So Bo Nix and Franklin meet up against either Bucky, Evans, Buka with no Baker because my idiot self didn't realize you could only draft 3 QBs. I forgot. I knew that I'd done it before and I forgot. But anyway, I could have 5 guys fall into the Super Bowl that way, but probably not likely with the Bucks. But I got Puka, Stafford, Drake May, Stevenson. Whoops. So Stevenson, Drake May, Puka, Stafford. That's 4. So I just need to find a 5th Ram or I could find a Bronco. Pat Bryant, how's he doing?
Hurt.
Mims.
Franklin's a nice pick with Pat Bryant.
Yeah, how long is he going to miss?
I don't know. Let me see if they have anything on him. Bryant. Just practice on Tuesday, so concussion. And they play Thursday, so almost definitely not this week. I guess they'll have a shot to play next week.
So I'll be back for the playoffs. I mean, this is playoffs. So I either go Pat Bryant or Booty or Kyle Williams.
For some reason, they haven't been using Booty.
Yeah.
I don't know. That could change, too. They've been using Kyle Williams as these guys. Pat Bryant would hedge with Franklin.
Championship was the 1 seed, said Slick Rick. Championship is this week. Payouts 30K, 11K, 5K. 250 high score per week. That's awesome. 250 high score, that's a pretty nice payout. I do like that. I almost want to do a league where it's only highest scoring team of the week gets the payout. So, I know talking out loud, I sniped Team 2 a lot, so he took Booty. But that's okay. I think I'd rather have... You like Terrence Ferguson?
I like him. I don't know how much I use him. Parkinson and Adams are playing.
I'll get Pat.
And he's a great talent.
I mean, by the time I get to a point where I'm in the, like, let's say the Denver Broncos did make the Super Bowl, Pat Bryant will be back by then. So this team's, I don't like this team at all. It's just, I don't like, it's definitely not my favorite team at all. Slick Rick, appreciate you. Smitty. One of my championship rounds, 3 or 4 leagues. What else is new? Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Max Power. Appreciate you. All right, jump into a mitten. Hit the green button. Is there anybody else on the phone line? I don't think so. All right, jump in. We're going to do one more mitten, and then I might call it a night. Probably do a Dynasty show tomorrow. I mean, maybe I should do one tonight. I don't know. What would be a good topic tonight? So funny, all the people defending DK in the comments. Like of videos, I'll have comments that come in. I don't reply to most of them, but it'd be like, bro, there's definitely all bets are off when certain things are said. It's like, what world do you live in? What world do you live in? I'm not saying things don't frustrate you to the point where you want to do this or that, but the fact that people are even defending DK, like, what's it look like the league did? The league punished him. So bets are certainly not off. I mean, he's in trouble. Yeah, picking last sucked. Well, I'm picking last now. I picked first. First was kind of rough too because I definitely didn't have what I wanted at the turns to go with my Puka. Like Stafford was nice, but then it started to dry out. Let's see what I do here. I kind of like doing this from this spot. I don't know why. I'm definitely not the biggest Eagles or Hurts fan at all, but I just think that the Eagles making the Super Bowl is not hard to imagine because the roster's so talented. The defense is so good. And Sirianni gets lucky and gets carried. It should be dominant. This team should be dominating the entire NFL. But they're not because it's badly coached. But the team's still so good that it's not hard to imagine them in a Super Bowl. So this is probably where I turn to most from this last round or fifth or sixth pick. Is just I look at everything else and I'm like, I don't think I can stack the Rams because Puka's gone. Stafford will be gone. I could go Kyron and Stafford here, but then I don't have any of the receivers, or I could go Adams and Stafford, but then I don't have Kyron or Puka, and so like it makes it hard to go Ram heavy. I don't know. This hammer is so awesome. This hammer is so crazy. You guys got use code Smitty. I'm telling you, this hammer is so enjoyable to just pick up and hold. My hands are getting a little sore, and I've got one of my hands on this hand. I've had like this separated. It feels like my hand separated, and I've had it for like a year and a half, and I don't stop like lifting or doing things, push-ups, all that. So it never heals, and when I grab things a certain way, it really hurts, and it always has, and I've never let it heal. But it's not separated, but it feels like it's very, very, very close to that feeling. And so it's a little hard, and this isn't going to probably help, or maybe it will. I don't know. But man, this weight is just so awesome. And the more you choke down on this, when you move it around, I'm going to break a monitor. I hit myself in the face right before the live stream. I don't know if I'm going to have a black eye tomorrow. It wasn't because it slipped or anything. I was just being stupid with it. It wasn't like it was. I was just going like this, moving it around, and I didn't see it. I went boom. All right, let's get back to the draft. RJ Harvey. I'm going to go Devontae Smith and RJ Harvey. So I guess I'm not necessarily pot committed to Denver being in the AFC Championship or I'm sorry, the Super Bowl against the Eagles, but that gives me an option. But I got AJ Brown, Hurts, and Devontae Smith, no Barkley. Barkley usually doesn't go number 5 overall, so that's kind of a bummer he was gone. I mean, sometimes he'll fall to like the 3rd round. I wonder if the 5th overall drafter was going to try and go Eagles himself. Super chatter. Oh, that's Slick Rick. Slick, appreciate you, my boy. Thanks for dropping that 50 again. Travis, who do you like here? You like Goddard and let me wait until we get it a little further down. It's crazy because you see people building and some people don't stack at all. And they're just out drafting best player available. And while I'm a big proponent of best player available and in a lot of best ball formats and especially non-best ball formats, I mean, you won't find a more supportive person for a strategy than me on that topic. In this one, however, you can't do that because you have to have a certain number of players playing in the Super Bowl or you have zero chance. Zero. You have to have like more. Most people would say you have to have more than 5. You need 5 starters, but you might have other people that have like 8 total guys, so the rotation's stronger. We'll go Bo Nix and Goddard here. So I've got Harvey and Nix. I've got everybody but Barkley on the Eagles. So I'm hot committed to Denver and Philly essentially. But that's pretty good. I mean, it's possible. But I've seen people like literally draft teams on purpose that have only a shot of having like 2 players in any combination in the Super Bowl. It's like you can't win this that way. You won't advance. Or you'll get to the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess somebody could try and, it would be interesting to stack a team to just try and get there and just be in the have at least one team just sitting in the finals. Kind of like I've always thought about if I went into a marathon and I just sprinted the first like 800 meters, like half a mile, and just led the entire marathon. And then you'd be on TV. People were like, "Oh, look at this dude," and just totally get out to an early lead. Then you stop and you're vomiting or whatever. And you don't finish. But I've always wanted to be the guy that took off and led the marathon for the whole first, half a mile in front of everybody. That's kind of what like this could be if you just got a team that was unstoppable to get there, but you'd only have 1 or 2 players left. All right, this is the last one. Travis, any final thoughts?
Do you think Rivers plays next year? You think this was just a comeback for a couple of games? Do you think he tries to play?
I'm going to do a Dynasty show tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to do 2 Dynasty shows tomorrow, I think, instead of doing 1 today. Do I think Rivers tries to come back after this year? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He barely is playing this week.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the way I'm reading into it, he's barely playing this week.
It's like, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me. Like, you saw what San Fran was doing, and Seattle probably did the same thing. Like, he can't beat you with his arm. He can make some throws, and like you said, it's almost like a shot put half throw that he's doing anyway. And so they're just gonna stack up against JT or whatever running back is there, and they'll be like, okay, we might let up 2 touchdowns on passes like we did last night. But besides that, we just stop the run, and he's going to end up making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't see him doing it. I just wasn't sure if, like, he might get it in his head that he can do it.
Not sure how I'm missing
I think he's probably smart.
Yeah. Justin says, I'm not sure how I'm missing your waivers. I didn't do waivers this week. There's not much to add. I mean, you can so you didn't miss anything. I do it after the Sunday night game every single week. This final week we didn't. We've talked about players and stuff. But if you got any questions, let me know. Thank you for the super chat. But I mean, it's just at this point, I just don't. If you have any questions, hit me with it. But the problem with waivers right now is like I do more strategy for each case by case situation. I mean, I would advise somebody to, like, if you're in a spot like this is the final week, so you're not picking any depth, you're not picking any home run hitters in case an injury happens. Like, this is your final lineup. So if you need a wide receiver and you've got an empty spot and P. Wash is out there, pick up Parker Washington for sure. But like, I don't know. I just didn't. I mean, maybe next year I'll do it in week 17. There's been a couple people that have asked me that have wanted it, but for the most part, I just think it's kind of a worthless show this week. When anybody can ask a specific question, about it, and I can help you with it. But hard to really game planning. Hey, pick up this guy for your bench. Why? It's your lineup or it's nothing at this point. It's a good question though. Let's go. Let's go Baker, rebound maker, and then, like Buka already went. You kidding me? That's because we're drafting in this community. Timed out on Tet, but Buka doesn't even get drafted in this draft, so that's definitely one of our people. Jeez. Yeah, so I went Evans and Baker, and I was trying to get Buka so to have 3 players from the Bucks, 3 players from the Broncos, and 4 players from the Eagles, and that's pretty good odds to have like 3 teams involved like that. But I didn't realize he was drafting Bucky then Buka. Yeah, who is that? You did nothing wrong, my man. I'm not mad at you. I'm just K-Man. Looks like K-Man and I were both chasing the Bucks at the end there. It's a cool little team. I like it. Let me review it. It's AJ Brown, Hurts, Harvey, Devontae Smith, Bo Nix, Goddard, Franklin, Mike Evans, Baker. I was trying to get Buka with it just to have the $3, but is what it is. Second highest projected team. Not that matters, but all right, Travis. And guys, if you want to do this underdog promo code Smitty, link is pinned in the live chat. Links in the description of the video. You can also enter code Smitty manually. Play 5, get 75. Travis, any final thoughts?
I was just going to ask, so who do you think ends up with a 1 seed in each conference? Because it's wide open right now for like a couple teams on each side. Like the Jags are now in contention for the 1 seed even. Broncos, Jags, Patriots, Seattle, and the Rams, and the Eagles still get it. I don't know. Check those standings.
Let's see here.
Who do you think ends up with a 1 seed?
Playoff picture. It's tough. Thank you, Aaron, for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you.
You've just
Let's see. Playoff bracket. So Denver's 12-3, right?
Yeah. That's the inside track.
All right. So Denver I don't know. Who do you think gets it out of Denver or New England?
Because Patriots have Jets in Miami. Denver has a slightly tougher schedule, but they have Kansas City and I forget who their last opponent is. I think Denver probably has, slightly better chance. But
So
for some reason, I think they have the tiebreaker.
So let's say Denver
sure.
gets the bye. And then so we have New England versus, like, who do you think in the playoff? Who's New England going to play?
Well, let's see. Right now, it looks like it'll be New England, Denver,
Jacksonville,
Jags,
Pittsburgh, Chargers,
then
Bills.
one of the Pittsburgh should probably hold on.
Houston.
Houston will get in. So Houston, Buffalo, and the Chargers probably be the 3 wild cards, right?
Okay, so let's go Denver versus Houston. Or I'm sorry, New England versus Houston. So Denver's the wild card. I'm sorry, Denver's the bye. Sorry. New England versus Houston. Jacksonville versus Buffalo.
Buffalo or the Chargers.
And then Pittsburgh Chargers.
Yeah,
So
let's
say it's like that. Let me see if I have that right. Does that look right? So New England, Houston, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, LAC. So then, so it would look like that. And then on the other side of the fence, we would have Seattle, probably. And then we'd have
maybe, yeah.
I mean, it could be really. But right now, it seems like Chicago versus Green Bay, Philly versus the Rams, and then Carolina, San Francisco.
Whoever wins the NFC South versus San Francisco.
So this is what, as of right now, this is probably what we're looking at.
So you got to pick either. Who do you pick? Carolina? You pick to go through?
I mean, that's just, I guess. What are you thinking?
Well, if the Bucks win this week, then they face each other the final week, and I believe if they end up with the same record,
you know what?
I think the Bucks.
You know what? I'm going to go Tampa Bay. I think
I think Tampa.
I mean, you call me nostalgic, but I still believe in the Bucky and Buka and Evans and Baker situation a little bit more than I should, I guess.
Well, in Carolina has Seattle this week, I believe.
Yeah.
So
then it would be Seattle versus, let's say, San Francisco wins this. I don't know who's going to be the worst seed here to go face Seattle, but the worst remaining seed of these games goes to face Seattle. The worst remaining seed left faces Denver, and then the other two face off. Hard to say without the seeding what would happen. So I think it'd be.
And in the NFL, the division winners get the higher seed, right? It doesn't go by record. I always forget.
The division winner? What do you mean?
Yeah, so like Tampa, I guess they'd be lower either way. But like say so like the Steelers. If the Steelers end up with 9 wins and win their division, and then they're facing a wild card team with 11 wins, Steelers have the higher seed. They won their division.
Yeah, the wild. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, if I'm understanding you correctly. I would go through these like matchups or whatever, but it'd be ridiculously worthless amount of spent time, because without knowing what seed everybody is, you can't slot them, because Seattle will face the worst remaining team left. Denver will face the worst remaining team left, and the seeding is going to change, so we can't predict anything. But right now, this does feel.
I was just curious what you thought the 1 seeds would turn out to be.
Yeah, probably Denver, Seattle as of right now, but this is how it's slotted or slated right this second, roughly. And San Francisco could change, like all these, but there's so many close. It's a good fight. I mean, they're definitely going to go. A lot of teams are going to go week 18 to the mattresses. But we'll see. A lot of teams missing from this. Where's KC?
Yeah. KC, Detroit.
Real.
We would have thought at the beginning of the year the Cowboys, Commanders, Cincinnati, like they were all potential playoff teams.
Yep. All right, Travis. See you later.
Thanks,
tomorrow.
Smitty. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, let me hit these supers, and then we are out of here. Start 3, Bucky, Hendy. Thank you, Eric. Bucky, Hendy, Ramondre, Harvey, Chase Brown, and Gainwell. We're going Chase Brown. Bucky's probably not playing. If he played, I would play him, but probably not playing. So right now, I'm going to go Chase Brown, Bucky, Harvey, final answer. And if Hendy played, I would probably sit. I guess Bucky, but you're probably not going to have that option. But you got such good options, you should feel pretty good about the replacement. Have Purdy, Jordan Love at quarterback, T-Law, and Darnold out there. Purdy, Love at quarterback, T-Law, Darnold. I pick up T-Law for sure. Have Fannin and Parkinson, and Kincaid is out there. I think I like Fannin most anyway. I might swap out Kincaid and Parkinson, though, just to block my opponent. Might be starting Fannin and Parkinson. Defense, kicker. I mean, I don't know. I can't give you any defense or kicker advice without, names. You might have given me them here. I would say grab Kincaid to block. Grab T-Law at least to block. And I think Purdy's safer than T-Law. So drop Love and pick up T-Law. But Purdy's safer than T-Law. T-Law's higher risk, higher reward. I think, Justin, we got to answer that one later. For right now, I would put T-Law in for now, but I would be a waiver on that probably all week. New England, Bucks, Steelers have Saints. Place kickers have Pinheiro Little. I'm going to be honest with the kickers. I'm going to go to who's scoring the most in the last 3 weeks. So just look at the game logs. It's the best way to go. Look at the trending in your scoring format. What kicker is scoring the most in the last 3 weeks? You could even go 4 and go with that kicker in your scoring format. As far as the defense, but let's see. Bucks are at Miami. I like that. I like that. I think that they play like dogs this week too. I mean, I could be wrong on that. I definitely am like a little bit biased because I'm rooting for a little bit of a bounce back for the Bucks. But and then Steelers, New England. New England's always a good play. And the Jets are a mess. Bucks, let's see here. Let's take a look at something here. I mean, New England is just such a hit and miss team. Like -2 points in week 15, 7 in week 16, 11, 10. a lot of their scoring was earlier on, so I'm not sure that like they feel like the best team right now to start a defense, whereas the Bucks they've been horrible lately as well. 2, 5, 5, 8, 0, 3, 2. Then it was 28, 9, 12. Like they did damage early on. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I guess I would probably go. I think I go Bucks against the Dolphins in that quarterback situation. Final answer, but very close call. Start Rice if he plays. I also have Ladd or Godwin. If he plays, yeah. If he plays, he wouldn't be limited. It's not like he's like coming back from a groin injury or something. When you update the rankings on the site, probably tonight or tomorrow, I'll update those. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. I'll try and do it tonight. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Appreciate every single one of you. See you all later. See you tomorrow. Probably 2 Dynasty shows tomorrow. Video upload and then the normal live stream stuff. See you all tomorrow. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, Slick Rick, for the $20 or the $50 hauler. Thank you, BBQ and Wolf, for the earlier gifted memberships, you monsters. See you all tomorrow. I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. Thank you, moderators. See you all tomorrow. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate you.